I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, family? It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm finally on this doggone platform, and we are here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 15, okay? Y'all know how it works. If you can hear the sound of my voice, let me know by putting your city, your state, your country, your island, wherever you are from, into the chat so I can say hello to y'all real quick, and I can make sure y'all hear me, baby. Take the poll at the top of the chat. I need to know what y'all thought about last night's episode because it shocked me. I was stunned. I was stunned into silence, child. Come on in, come on in. Nice to have all of you. Happy New Year. Damn it, we're finally here in 2026, okay? Happy New Year to you guys. Come on in. Let's see. I might look a little different. I got a new camera, baby, and it has a little bit of a learning curve, child. So I'm trying to figure things out. What's up, cousin? She says she has a spicy drink. Me too. I got the jalapeno margarita for today. Come on in. My sister is here. We got the same mama, same daddy. Clone in the house is here. Okay, Detroit, what's up? What's up, Maryland? Nice to have you. Hello, everybody, child. Hit my like button. Don't play me. Don't play me on the new year. Hit the like button, share the video, all the shit, okay? Because we got things to talk about. Don't play around, all right? And also, I want to let y'all know, first of all, welcome to the cookout. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I also want to tell y'all that I am an artist. For the new year, I am an artist, and I am sensitive about my shit, okay? I have watched this show twice. Do y'all know how hard that shit was to watch it twice to make sure I didn't miss anything? And I just didn't come on here bring y'all any old thing for a review. Okay. So yeah. Come on in, child. That it was pressure. Lots of pressure. Okay, but we're about to get into it. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Anyways, without further ado, y'all see it. Cut the shit, Scotts, baby. Now listen, I have been talking about Marcel and Tisha for a minute. Y'all know I've done like follow the money. And actually, I was real impressed with myself with the follow the money shit because after I had did it, I think maybe a month, maybe 2 months later, Tisha actually went on her YouTube channel and she talked about how, you know, her and Marcel acquired their businesses and some other shit. And it was pretty much exactly how I said it. So I was real impressed with myself because I had to, you know, do some research, child. Come on in. You can't wait to get my perspective. Anyways, look, people are saying she gets on my nerves bad. Tisha gets on your nerves bad. I want to pick two of your options. Yeah, to only let you get one though. You probably want to go hunting, don't you? You probably want to go hunting. Let me put up my other screen. Okay. Here we go. I got to put up my DYANAROZAY sign just in case people don't know who they're talking to. Anyway, take the poll because I need to know what y'all think. I'm going to say this, though. I have been watching Tisha and Marcel for a little bit, right? I know that what happened during that adult game shit, whatever it was that Destiny threw, I knew that probably was like the knife in the chest for Tisha, right? For a lot of reasons. We have since learned that there was a lot of shit that was going on that show that we, the people, didn't have a full idea of, right? And if y'all follow me from the beginning, I have always said these people act like there's a secret. There's something that they're hiding or holding that's not coming out. It's not coming out. I said that from the beginning. Well, anyway, all the shit unfolded. If you made it to the finish line of Love and Marriage Huntsville, it all came out. It spilled out on the reunion stage. There was two endings for the show. One was seen in some places, another scene in another place, right? But you found out that there was this horrible shit that went down. I don't want to call it horrible. I don't know what the fuck it was. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But I could tell that that was just like the end of the road for a lot of folks, right? Anyway, after that moment, I was like, I wonder how Tisha and Marceau are going to engage each other, because when Martell was saying, your husband's having an affair, I want to see if Tisha's going to do what she always said she was going to do, which is leave Marceau. And he was threatening to show receipts because he ran to his truck to get the receipts. And I remember Tisha jumping up and saying, just show it. Just show it. Show it already. You've held this over my head for whatever many years. Just show me the receipts. I want to know if he's cheating, right? And he didn't do it. He didn't do it at the game day. He ended up doing it on the YouTube channel, for people that believe. But most people didn't take Martell seriously because the lady didn't, I guess, live up to whatever we thought she was supposed to be. Thank you. That should have never made it past editing. Blame the editors. I don't know anything about it. Look, everybody says that the shit is anything that happens. If it happens on reality TV, it is what it is until that happened, right? Until that happened. But the truth is, it compromised all of them. It compromised all of them, which is why it didn't get told up front. But at the end of the day, you got to know, you keep pushing people to a space, they might not be able to come back from it. That's just how people are. You have some dirt, they got some dirt. And I remember Kimmy saying, we know that we still have some sort of respect for each other because there's secrets that we've never told. And then all of a sudden people tell. It's unfortunate. I would have never trusted a woman like Destiny after that reunion. I mean, Martell started that shit. We keep blaming everybody else except the person who fucking did it. It was Martell. It was Martell. They went to the adult game day. I think Destiny said something like, Martell, who hurt you the most in the group? Because nobody called him. His friends didn't call him, is what he said, right? You didn't call me. He wanted people to take him seriously. Marceau had did an interview with Dustin Ross. Dustin asked him how he felt about Marceau, about Martell in the Revenge P tape. Marceau said some shit like, there's a place for people like Martell to go and think about that shit 24 hours a day. So basically implying he should go to jail. So he was asked a question, he answered it. When they got to the thing, Martell said, Marceau hurt me the most because he should have called me. And Marceau's like, I don't fuck with you though. They didn't mess with each other even before that. So for a long time, none of them were talking to each other. They were barely filming, right, together. Melody wasn't filming with them. And then we see them on top of 9th season. Melody meets up with Tisha and Kimmy, and she's like, why didn't y'all call me? And even then I said, why would they call you? Why would they call you? That didn't make sense to us. But then later we found out that they were trying to mend relationships. The problem is the audience did not like them mending relationships. And we should have left it, not we, because I wasn't in that shit. But there was a lot of people that should have left it alone because that was what they were trying to do. It seemed like they were trying to fix things with each other so that people could stop being fucked with. People were being, sued, and people were being all these things. So when you have all that stuff going, your mind is going to play games with you, and you're going to try to figure out how to protect yourself. And that's just what it is. In any walk of life, reality TV, the grocery store, Starbucks, you don't want to be messed with like that. You don't want your families messed with like that. So all of that rolled out. But at the end of the day, when they were on the stage, they said that shit happened because of Martell. Okay. And Tisha said that she thought she ended up poking back and sharing what I guess should have been a secret because of Martell. And even Melody in that same season, season 9, she went to visit Tisha and Marceau at their bar because Martell had called and said, girl, he sent her a text and said, Marceau said some shit over you. Remember? Because Marceau said, you're the type of motherfucker who would ask me if your wife was doing X, Y, and Z to me. So that all played out. It all played out. But the long story short is they started boxing with each other, and we were trying to see what was going to happen next. And Tisha and Marceau ends up admitting at the top of the season that they were in counseling and that they were about to throw in the towel. They were ready to forget it. We're not doing this anymore. And then we get to see glimpses of them on social media. If you follow them, we saw glimpses of them going to church and having more family time. And Marceau even said that they were in therapy. He was like, this is pretty much the last hurrah. I don't know if it's gonna, if we're gonna make it. He said, but we're trying. And that was about as honest as it gets. And he said they might not even show this on the show, because he said he didn't think that it would make it because they want to follow this cheating storyline still. Come on in. Welcome, Miss Lady D Keys. Y'all say hello to her. She is volunteering her time in the chat, okay? I appreciate you for modding today, okay? Let me see what else is going on. But yeah, so that's where we are. So this is where it opens. Now, I'm saying all this to say that it feels like production gave us part of a scene without giving us any foundation. So I'm trying to give y'all foundation because we didn't get there by way of the show, okay? But it opens with Tisha visiting Marceau at one of their build-outs. From what I heard, I think I heard on social media that the bar, the SCOTTS Realty, and this real estate office is all in the same like little building, right? So Tisha goes up to the building where they have the realty office, and that's what he was supposed to do. I don't know what you're talking about, lies, more lies, but they all hit their button to get away from the narrative. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. Not everything can be worked out in front of people. Some shit you got to keep to yourself. But Tisha says, anyway, until you figure it out. But Tisha says, anyway, listen, I'm happy to be back home with Marceau, because right now we know that Tisha needs to have eyes on Marceau. This is the angle I'm going. Based on what happened in this fucking episode, Tisha got to keep eyes on Marceau because she don't trust him. Martell and whoever else did exactly what Marceau didn't want, which is Tisha's incredibly insecure, which he already said. And he also said that at the end of the day, she just don't fucking trust him. Not only did she say she didn't trust him, but she said, I'm not sure that you love me. I'm not sure that you love me. I doubt it. I don't feel it. She said all of that shit in this episode, okay? But in the beginning, she just comes in and she's like really impressed with how far Marceau has come in this build out, okay? Anyway, Tisha says, if you're watching the scene, would they finally have like walls up? They have flooring down. There's like inside doors, glass doors. So you can tell that there's some progress. And if I'm not mistaken, they've been building this particular office for the last 2.5 years, and it's supposed to be a shared space. It could be 3 years, but it feels like at least 2.5 years, okay? So Tisha's like, she's really impressed. And she's like, I can't wait to be inside the office. Okay. She said, now here's the thing. When she said she can't wait to be inside the office, Marceau doesn't have Tisha's office built out yet. Like her shit still doesn't have proper walls or floors. Just the SCOTTS side of things have everything. Okay. Which I was kind of shocked because Tisha only has one room. Tisha only has one room. So to see that he built out everything else and nothing else, It was shocking. And Tisha makes the comment. She's like, bitch, we actually are going to have a shared space. Like, I'm only one room. We share a bathroom. We share like the supply closet. Why couldn't you have had my space up yet? Right. Anyway, here's where things get a little confusing. Marceau says, or Tisha said, because we all watch this show religiously, even the ones that like to hunt bears, baby, take the poll at the top of the chat. Even the ones that like to hunt bears, everybody knows that Tisha said, if not just 2 seasons ago, Marceau, I thought about it, and I would like to be a stay-at-home mama again, right? I'd like to be a stay-at-home mama. I don't want to go back to work. You make enough money for both of us. Do you have about $8,000 so I can buy some new furniture? Everybody remembers that scene. And Marceau looking at Tisha like, what the fuck, right? But yeah, she says that in this scene. I want my office spelled out. This time she says, bitch, I want to be outside. Okay. I want to be outside. I want to talk to adults. I no longer want to be in that damn house trying to do things. It's cramped. There's 5 of us up in that little ass house. That's exactly how she says it. 5 of us up in that little ass house. I need to be outside, which now I realize when she's going back and forth between this space is because she is going back and forth between whether or not she needs to have eyes on Marceau, meaning I need to sit where you're sitting. I need to see what you're doing all fucking day long. Because sometimes there's people who do that. You know what I'm saying? They believe that if they're in their partner's space, that's going to prevent them from cheating and other things. Because Tisha's real insecure, especially in this, right? And Marceau catches the vibe. He does. Because he's like, baby, we're going to build out SCOTTS first. Okay, because that's what actually pays the fucking bills. We're not going to build out anything that spends the money. We're going to build what actually makes the money. That would be SCOTTS. And then he also tells Tisha, at the end of the day, you change your mind on this all the time. The goals keep changing. You make me seem like I'm crazy and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, but you're the one who's changing the goal. And he's not lying. Tisha did go back and forth between stay-at-home mama and real estate office. Stay-at-home mama and real estate office. That's actually true. Okay? Anyway, after all of that, let me see, child, because some of y'all writing real fast. That's right. Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you, clone. Bump up the thumbs up, everybody. But this is what it is. And Marceau knows what it is. So Marceau tells Tisha he needs 50 feet, okay, basically. And he's trying to say it in a nice way. And I feel like he's saying it the way we heard it because they have been in therapy. Because you can tell that Marceau is using words that we've never heard before on this show, period. And I literally said I can hear the therapy part kicking in, even though the production did not take us through that. Come on in. Keep moving the goalposts. Now, I mean, that's what he told her. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. He said, Tisha, the reason why the shit ain't done is because you keep changing the goal. You keep changing the goal. I don't know what you want me to do. But hold on. Hold on. Tisha said some shit like happy wife, happy life, and whatever I decide to do, you should be open to me doing it, right? Which I thought was a little cray-cray. Anyway, now that she's back to wanting that desk space or that office space back, she said that if you don't get my office done within a reasonable amount of time, I'm going to put my desk in front of your desk right here at SCOTTS. So go ahead and build SCOTTS out. That's fine. But I'm definitely going to put my desk in front of your desk, which is, again, you're not going to work in the same office. You're doing 2 different things. You're doing you're selling whatever you're selling, property. Marceau's doing something else. So all of that is, I don't know, too much mixture. But what I can tell you is, yeah, you're correct. However, Tisha's realty office is done. Is it done now? It wasn't done when they did this, is what it sounds like. But while she's saying this, she said, if you don't get it done, I'm going to make being up here a priority no matter the fuck what, because my desk is going to be sitting right in front of your desk. And she says it very softly, but she's basically saying, you know how we do. I'm going to have to keep my eye on you, Marceau. And that's when Marceau says, Tisha, I don't like how you speak to me. Okay? Which at first I thought, um, is Marceau gaslighting us with this? I don't like how you speak to me, because bitch, you speak to people crazy all the time. But even when he says it, Tisha makes it look like, where's this coming from? And Marceau, in the gentlest of ways, is basically saying to her, cut the cheating shit out. Get that narrative out your head, okay? So he says to her, Tisha, you act like I'm putting you on the back burner when you know I'm grinding. You know what the fuck I do all day. You know how I get down, Tisha. This is what he's saying to her. So whether you take it or leave it, because this is also, it could very well be a gaslighting scene, because when he did say it, I'm not going to lie, I did say, y'all move. Y'all move. I got it, bitch. Marceau cut the shit, because Marceau, this is why I didn't like that the production company didn't take us through where we needed to be. Marceau, for season after season after season, you have been basically saying your piece was away from anything that had to do with Tisha and them kids, okay? Even if it meant you taking a trip to Tanzania by your lonely, you basically have been fighting to get away from them kids and your wife, and you know that. So she feels that way because you have done those things, okay? You were the one who, and it was confirmed, who said you have to get up at the butt crack of dawn to go out and do the contracting work and shit like that. And when Tisha said, when you come home, you don't even fucking stay. You grab your computer and then you're off to the bar, and that's where you stay for the rest of the night. Like, she didn't know what was going on with you, and you confirmed that. You said that's what you did, but you said that was your wind down time, as if she don't need fucking wind down time. Anyway, long story short, if this was already worked out in therapy, y'all didn't tell it to us. So having this conversation is a little, I felt like, Tisha, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you trying to set the stage for another solo trip? That's what it felt like. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, he tells her that he doesn't like being told that he's putting her on the back burner. And he said, instead of nagging the shit out of him after 20 years of marriage, he would like for her to pipe down. Let him come home to the place that should be his refuge, baby. He said, my home should be my refuge. And instead of me coming home and you nagging the shit out of me, I'd love to see the day where you allow me to have some peace and quiet. Okay, I added the and quiet part. But he did say, Tisha, stop nagging me and let me have my peace. When I come home, I don't want to hear that mouth, and I damn sure don't want you showing up where I am on the job site and giving me that mouth. That's what he's telling her, which is why I said, y'all got to move. Cut the shit. This is crazy. You are lying, Marceau. Okay, anyway. At the end of the day, Marceau, here's the thing. I need to know what's changed about your previous life versus what you have going on right now. Because yes, y'all own a bar, but that bar is open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. So how are you managing your time with your family now? Why isn't that being addressed? Because what you're giving me is that you've always been the perfect husband, answering all of Tisha's needs, and Tisha just don't buy it. But the truth of the matter is nobody buys it. Not your mama, not your brother, not your sister-in-law, who all, by the way, have said, Marceau, you keep doing nutty shit that keeps getting this girl out of character. They've all said it. Tisha said it at the game day. Kimmy said it at the game day. She literally pulled him aside and said, I don't like what you just did, you and Martell, and you know that attack was against Tisha. Everybody tells it to you. You pretend like you didn't know. What did you say to What did you say to Kimmy when Kimmy said that you fucked up? He said, that's why I told Tisha to get in the car and leave. You made Tisha sit her ass right there and take the abuse until Martell was done. So anyway, that all I'm saying is, sir, we didn't see this new and improved side of you. We don't know how you got here. So right now it feels like a bunch of gaslighting. That's what it feels like. All right. Anyway, hold on. In confessional, Marceau says that Tisha should know him better than anybody else by now. And he said that when your partner doesn't know you, the only feeling that you have is loneliness. And that's when I really wanted to get the brick. Because, bitch, what? Marceau, what are you saying to us? This makes no sense. Oh my God. Anyway, Tisha literally was looking at the man like he was an alien from outer space, because he is. How dare you? What are you talking about? Anyway, girl, he ain't the only person who's going to get the brick. Anyway, everybody's trying to figure out what Marceau's talking about. Marceau fixes his mouth to say that when Tisha doesn't believe in him, he finds it discouraging. That's the hardest part of their relationship, which again, this doesn't feel like any Marceau we know. Why? Because we never see Marceau take Tisha seriously. So when he's saying it, I'm confused. Again, just asking for a friend. What the hell are y'all talking about in this scene? It makes no sense. All right. Tisha says she doesn't know what's going on. He reminds her that he makes the money. And basically he says that as long as I'm paying the bills, that's all you should require. Period. Okay. All this extra shit, Tisha, I don't know what it is. He believes that his manhood should be proven. His manhood, his worth as a father, his worth as a husband, it should all be proven in the fact that he pays the bills. Nothing more. I don't give a fuck what's going on outside. I don't care who tells you what. As long as these lights are on and this mortgage is paid, you shouldn't question me. Don't challenge me. Okay, that's what I was getting. If you read between the lines, child. I used to watch Archie Bunker when I was a kid. And who else? Fred Sanford. And who else? All them crazy ass men. I saw that shit. He was given that, but he was speaking in a softer tone. That's all. That's all. Okay. Anyway, that's when Tisha says, that's when Marceau says, excuse me, that's when Marceau tells Tisha, at the end of the day, ma'am, this was a tough fucking thing to say. This actually had me like sit up when I heard this Marceau say this shit. We all remember Vegas when Marceau said, I will never divorce Tisha. I'm not going to pull the trigger. If Tisha wants to divorce me, cool. Because we should have been down at the courthouse multiple times, but we haven't been. He said, but if she wants to pull the plug on me, that's the only way it's going to happen. Because as long as my kids are in that house, I'm never going to fucking leave it. You know what he said in this episode? In the first part of the show, he said, Tisha, MJ is already in college and the girls is going to be right behind him. You need to think about what you want after this, because it's only going to get harder. This is only going to get harder. We're going to get harder. This marriage is going to get harder. Our relationship is going to get harder. And this is some shit that I don't think I'm ready to move forward in. Okay. So he told her, you need to figure out where the fuck you want to be right now. Because if you can't get on this side, I have no reason to stay. I have no reason to stay. The kids are gone. What are we doing? Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that? 399 of y'all are here. Hit the like button, share the video, and make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Yes, ma'am. Planning ahead. That's what I got too. My heart actually stopped. Tisha just had her head tilted to the side. She looked down. Now, like I said, they've already come out at the beginning of the season. They said this on live, though. They said we have thought about divorce. We've already thought about moving and going our separate ways. They say as much, and I should say he said, because he did say it. He said, I'm not going to keep getting questioned. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do as a man for this family, what he considers enough. Not what Tisha considers enough, what he considers enough. And he said, you need to think about what the fuck you want, because I'm not gonna do better than this. This is it. The kids are gonna be gone, Tisha. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of y'all are saying you heard the same thing. Yeah, me too. Me too. I said, you know what? This scene was going back and forth between what's real, what's fake, but that shit was no joke. Don't come up here ruining my fucking day. I come up here to get away from you. That might be why she's trying to get him finish the manor so that she can pull the plug. They're in a different space than we've heard them talk before. I can tell you that. Marceau has emotionally left the building. I believe that he's sick of her. Okay. Whew. I told y'all a long time ago that man didn't want her. Well, hold on now. We're going to get to the rest of it. But that's how it started. Can y'all see me? Okay, cool. All right. So that's basically how it ended, with him basically saying, Tisha, if it's a divorce you want, it's a divorce you're going to get. Okay. So I don't know. Marceau is who initially said he would never pull the trigger. He actually is saying we might need to pull the trigger, period. Anyway, let's move on to the next. I mean, they don't have to get divorced for us, child. Let them folks work that shit out on their own. We don't need any of that. We don't want a pox on our own house, okay? But that's what they said on the show, okay? Period. Now let's move to Kimmy and Maurice. Holy shit. Okay, so Kimmy and Maurice, they are at their offices, whatever that building is called, I don't know. And Kimmy, I guess, is doing, they have a title company, and I think that they are the only Black title company in the state of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, which is a big deal, okay? And it's a lot of work, and it should bring in a lot of money, too, if people are doing what they're supposed to do. Hey, Miss Erica, welcome, welcome, welcome. But she's in there working, slaving away, because, even though he is Maurice is a lawyer. Yeah. Kimmy does a lot of stuff. He's a lot of brains. Okay. What's up, Kevin? Kevin said, DYANAROZAY, this episode confirms that Marceau and Tisha are no longer together. It was just a dialogue between the two that clocks it. Also, Marceau walked in the house prior to therapy. I don't know. I think that they are together just based on, I do follow their IG page, and I think that that's too much to pretend to be inside the house. So going to church and getting the kids together, all that stuff, I think that's too much to pretend. Also, she's up at that bar all the time. She's keeping eyes on Marceau, period. So I don't know, but we'll have to see. What I can tell you is that previously he said he'd never do it. Now he said them kids is grown, damn it. So we might have to pull this trigger. Okay. But back to Maurice and Kimmy. Kimmy's sitting there doing her title work or whatever the hell she got going on. And Maurice comes in and plops his big head ass down on the couch talking about, are you done? Are you busy? She said, hell yeah, I'm busy. Basically, what do you want from me? And he proceeds to share his problems about who his one and only son, Monster, the one that he has told Kimmy in the past that he didn't want her to think about, worry about any of those things. She don't have to have an opinion on her son, on his son, because him and Kiowa got it. This time, he tells her that he's having problems with Monster. Monster apparently has no ambition, no drive, no get up and go. Monster is in college now. I don't know if he went on a football scholarship or what, but apparently he's not doing so well. Sounds like his grades is dragging the bottom of hell. And Maurice ended up taking the car keys from him. I know he bought him this expensive race car, or at least a race car. I don't know how expensive it was, but apparently he snatched them fucking keys and he said, until your grades go up, I'm going to hold on to these keys. And he said, bitch, I didn't have the keys so long. I didn't forgot why I was in the driveway. Monster doesn't even have enough ambition to want his damn keys back. Monster don't even have enough get up and go to want the keys to the car back. So he doesn't know how to motivate him. Now, this would have been Kimmy's moment to say, gotcha, bitch. I done told your ass that you needed to give that boy some more structure, some responsibility, something to understand how goals work. But you wouldn't do it, okay? Instead, you made me his slave. You made Jalen his slave. Everybody was running around here throwing damn rose petals at his feet like he was Prince Hakeem or something. And now you got a problem. And he does, okay? Instead, what Kimmy says in a polite way is, you know, ambition, drive, responsibility, you know, meeting goals, that shit is taught by the parents. That's how I understood it in my home. Somebody taught it to me. And Marie says, well, nobody taught it to me. I grew up with a daddy who was in prison, and we know was 29 of us in the same house. And I just knew that I wanted better for myself. So I just did it. Kimmy said, well, that's not Monster's reality. His reality was you did every fucking thing for him. I'm paraphrasing here, but that's what happened. You did everything fucking for him. So why would he feel the desire to do anything for himself? If he fails school, if he graduates school, he knows that you're always going to be the safety net. He doesn't even have enough desire for himself to want to make you proud and get it done. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And he's sitting here saying, well, how did Jalen do it? Because bitch went, girl, where's my brick? How did Jalen do it? Well, Kimmy was telling you the whole time you was telling her to go ahead and make Jalen the soft guy. Kimmy said, under no circumstances. No. Do you know what happened to me when I was a kid and I got pregnant and I couldn't go to school or go out and do things with my friends? My daddy, who we now know used to beat the hell out of her mama, said, you breed it, you feed it. Get the hell out of my house and you figure it out for yourself. So she had to figure it out. And she said under no circumstances did she want to handicap her son. So she ended up doing something to take care of herself and her son. And then she ended up paying all of his college tuition to give him a head start in life. And she told your ass that. She told you how she grew up, but you want to make it seem like you just, I don't know, like everything in your life was just so fucking hard and you're the only one with a struggle. We all got a struggle story, boo. That doesn't mean that you handicap your kids. You teach them how to fish so that they will know how to fish for themselves. Everybody should know that, okay? Father in prison or not. Anyway, Kimmy tries to tell him something similar to that, but it was very, very polite, okay? I'm giving y'all the entertainment version, period. Anyway, Maurice basically looks at her like he doesn't understand how she came to that conclusion. I don't know if I agree with that. Well, hell, if you don't agree with it, what the fuck you come in here asking me questions for? That's what I would have said. But what Kimmy says is, Maurice, we need to continue with therapy because you have a bad habit of being able to tell me everything that I do wrong in life, telling your son, Monster, what he does wrong in life, telling Jalen what he does wrong. And anytime someone gives you even a pinch of what you do wrong, you don't understand it. You can't comprehend it. It's either your way or the highway. And he says, I absolutely want to continue therapy. First, he rolls his eyes because he doesn't want to hear it. But then he says some shit like he'll continue therapy because he doesn't want to stress her out. He can tell that she's stressed out and he wants to keep her happy. Again, I feel a little shorted in this scene because if they had already been going to therapy, y'all should have let us in on that. There was some scenes probably with Destiny that y'all could have cut, that y'all could have made a little smaller in order to give us what these therapy scenes were so that we had a little more insight. Because telling us that they've already been in therapy for fucking what? Before this, they had the perfect relationship. At least that's how it came across. If I'm not mistaken, Kimmy said she got one of the good ones. Maurice was supposed to be the good one until we get to this episode. And now it's all downhill. Anyway, we end the scene because Maurice gets on my nerves. Let's move on to the Fletchers. They're the only people that didn't get a brick, even though there might be somebody in the audience that want to give them one. That wants to give them one. But the Fletchers, come on, y'all. Hit my like button, share the video. I appreciate every single one of y'all for being here. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the cookout. Welcome to the show. So Nell Fletcher is catching her husband up on what happened at the winery with the girls, okay? Because y'all know Tisha and Nell fell out over there, right? So they are eating lunch in the backyard. Nell Fletcher made this beautiful spread, child, with some sort of peach lemonade. I heard that Nell Fletcher can really cook, and I'm a foodie, so when she be bringing that food out, I'm always like, damn, that looks amazing, right? But yeah, so she's bringing the food out and they get right into it. They really don't mince words. They're very lockstep with each other. And I like that. I like to see that with couples. But anyway, Nell Fletcher says, listen, we went over there to this damn vineyard, child, and Destiny had us do some sort of assignment where she wanted us to put personal items into a basket, and then we were supposed to discuss them and share things, and I was supposed to be transparent, okay? And she said, at the end of the day, Tisha brought a basket that had a whole bunch of props in it, snakes and all kinds of little shit, and she kept directing it at me. And she said, little heifer, I'm not slow. I know what the fuck you was doing. I got your snake, okay? This is all the stuff she's saying to Chris. Now, I really like Chris and Nell Fletcher as a couple because when Nell Fletcher gossips, even when Chris gossips, they be sitting there looking at each other like you would do with your best friend. They look at each other like you would do with your best friend. The whole time she's talking, Chris is all the way tuned in. You know what I'm saying? Like eating a sandwich and drinking his juice, child. Anyway, Nell Fletcher said, I got your snake, and little girl, I'm not slow. I know all that shit that you brought in your basket was intended for me. Okay. Then Nell said, I didn't bring a basket. I already knew that I'm not telling these heifers no more than what they already know about me. They can forget it. Okay. She said, I'm done with it. They preach transparency. They want to know what's going on in my life, with my kids, with my grandkids. They want to know what's going on with you, but they won't talk shit about what's happening in their life. And I have a problem with that. Okay. Chris says, what's Letitia's problem, right? Nell Fletcher said, you and Marceau. You and Marceau are Letitia Scott's problem. He squints like, me and Marceau? She said, yeah, that's right. Apparently, they are out here listening to the streets, the YouTube streets, the regular streets, the Huntsville streets. And she said, and I quote, they want to know who you fucking, who Marceau is fucking. They want to know about the NDAs, the marriage, the women. They want to know about it all. And you is tied up in some shit with Marceau, and Tisha's insecure ass is out here throwing her feelings off on me. Okay. Now, when she says this, Chris does flinch a little bit because the last thing he wants is for his name to be attached to NDAs. Hey, Mel. NDAs. What else? Women cheating, all that shit, right? So he's looking like, God damn, I thought y'all was going to have fun. How did y'all come up with this shit? This is what y'all arguing about? Okay. I swear to God, Kim, he looked like, bitch, I was a monk up until 2 minutes ago, period. I was at the salon getting my curls dry. I don't know why I'm in this. Anyway, she put it right the fuck out there. When I tell y'all, this is why I like Nell Fletcher, because she says exactly what it is, period. Okay. Anyway, that's when Chris Fletcher said, let's change this tune just a little bit. Okay. He said, I caught a few of Marceau and Letitia's lives. Hold on, I got to say this with a straight face. He said, I caught a few of Marceau and Letitia's lives, which made me think, why are you watching Marceau and Letitia's lives for? What are you watching their lives for? Why? But he said, I caught them motherfuckers, and I don't know why she's put my name in any of this shit. When she said, because I distinctly remember, she said that they would not be discussing anything that had to do with that Martell interview. They would not be discussing cheating or anything else like that. If they're not talking about business, entrepreneurship, or light family stuff, it's not going to be basically on the show. We ain't talking about it. That's how she put it. So why she's putting my name in this shit, I have no clue. Okay. That's what Chris Fletcher said. I swear to God. Okay. Chris said, bitch, not to mention the fact, because this is almost a little bit of an HR move when Chris said this. Chris, I caught you, child. And Nell Fletcher was sitting there looking at him like this the whole time he was talking too. Like, say it again, bitch. But this is what else he was putting out there. Tisha and Marceau don't want to give their real life. We're giving our real life, okay? Going ahead and pass that his and her paycheck along to me and mine, okay? Because at the end of the day, you and I know what's up. This is what Chris says. You and I know what's up. We don't give a fuck about what them internet streets say or the Huntsville streets say. We live in this house by ourselves. Then he points at the house, okay? We live in this motherfucker by ourselves. So why would we allow that outside chitter chatter to get in our business? That was an Uno reverse if you didn't pay attention, okay? If they want to pretend like we doing something to them, then go on ahead and get the fuck about the show. Let us carry the show. Now, a lot of people thought that it was the Scotts who was trying to kick the Fletchers up off the show, but I saw what you did, Chris. I saw what you did. You definitely was like, kettle. No, you've already said you weren't going to talk about it. We're not shying away from these conversations. So yeah, let's do it. But then anyway, Chris actually says to his wife, you know what? That was some wild shit for Letitia to say to you. Is there something that precipitated all of this before she's accusing me and her husband of being in the streets? What would have happened? Okay. Nell took a breath like, and she went, I did say something to Destiny. You said something to Destiny? She said, yeah. He said, what did you say? She said, I said something along the lines of, she better leave me the fuck alone before I say exactly what I know about Marceau. And I don't mind dropping motherfucking names, okay? Dead ass. Then Chris throws his hands up like, what the fuck? Why do you have me out here trying to figure out, like, consoling you when you started the shit? Yes, Nell, you did start the shit. I said that last week. But when she says it, Chris is like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? She said, because I'm tired of her shit. Okay. And she said, Tisha needs to humble herself before I humble her little ass for her. Period. Okay. I will be naming names. You know, I'll blow this whole motherfucker up. I don't play those games. Nell turned in a complete and total gangster in this episode. Chris didn't have nothing to say, child. He lost his appetite. He didn't want no more of that peach lemonade, nothing. Okay, he wants to go back to the monastery and be a monk, is what it looks like, because he might get his ass in trouble. We don't know. Because after telling his wife, you and I know what is going on with you and I. Okay? Our house, we know what goes on in our house. Nell Fletcher said, if that bitch keep talking about me and mine and what's going on with my marriage, it will be me who fuck her shit up. So you and Tisha are kind of in the same boat, Nell Fletcher. That's what it sounds like. You're giving like you felt a little insecure the way she feels insecure, because she was staring a hole into Chris Fletcher. Like, bitch, let me see if your voice gets high, or, you know, you blink too much. Let me see if you rub your nose like this. I don't know. It felt like a whole human lie detector test, if you ask me. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying to y'all, okay? Hit the like button, share the video, please, and thank you. I appreciate every single one of y'all for being here. 590 of y'all are here. All right, next scene. Anyway, let me see. What did y'all listen, for those of y'all who come over into my comment section to do whatever I guess somebody's paying y'all to do, go home. Y'all don't have to be over here. Y'all love to come over here with the bullshit. Go, get out, okay? I'm gonna block you anyway. That is so hilarious. Imagine not liking the show and then coming over in my shit and talking about it. Thank you. Anyway. Right. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Now we're back at Tisha and Marceau's house, okay? Tisha and Marceau, I guess Tisha felt a way about what Marceau had to say, okay? Giving her a ultimatum. Figure it out, Tisha. So now Tisha's at home, and I noticed that she is wearing that same pink, what was it? Some sort of two-piece set. It was like biker shorts with a top. So she's wearing that. Whatever it was the same outfit that Martell says to her, oh my God, I was wondering who that was in the pink. So he started flirting with her heavy at that game day and staring and ogling her body. Anyway, Tisha, she must have went back to the doctor and got a refill, because baby, when I tell you she was all titties and ass, she was all titties and ass. She was like boom, 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 boom. Okay, brick house down. And in this scene, she was brick house down in the first scene, because I forgot to mention it. When she was leaned up against that wall, the camera panned down Tisha's body. I was like, Tisha's ass is huge. Tisha's butt looked like a big old, like, boom, like popped out. Well, she's showing off her shit again right the hell now. So she is sitting up here with her little sweater on and the same pink number that Martell had talked about when he said, I was like, who the fuck is that in the pink? And then she looks back at her husband. He was like, don't take the bait, Tisha. Martell and Marceau, I kid you not. Okay. Anyway, she has invited over a intimacy coach, a love and intimacy coach. And she said that she wants to basically get to communicate better and find out how they can get closer to each other. So this is a reason for bringing it in. When Marceau walks in, he comes in, looks like from work, I guess, because he got on kind of like a works outfit. And he says, thank you, what is this? Just Blue Note, I appreciate you. When he walks in, he sees that these people are in this house because there's two of them, right? But first of all, let me back it up. My bad. So Tisha actually starts talking to the love and intimacy coach, because she said, tell me about yourself, your husband, how did you meet? And Tisha said, me and Marceau met really quickly. He proposed to me after just a few months of dating. And she said, we didn't even have a marriage ceremony. We literally ring on the finger, went down to City Hall, got married, had a baby right after that. And we had a ceremony for our nuptials years later, right? She said, but we've been married for 19, almost 20 years. And I guess her oldest son is 19. So we know that that was a shotgun wedding kind of thing, right? But I just wanted to say that the call always come from inside the house. The way people that is either in your family, your friends, your enemies, your foes, whatever, they are always telling the blogger shit and then it comes back, right? But Tisha finally gets this out of her mouth. Yes, me and Marcel got married very quickly after having the baby. And then we said to each other that while we were in the marriage, we would learn each other better. Even though they don't know each other, they're going to marry each other because of the baby, right? That's what happened. And for all intents and purposes, that's what happens. And even though they may not be compatible, they have stuck it out up until this point. That's what it gave. She said, our kids are grown. This is what she tells the coach. Our kids are growing up. My son is already in college. I got 2 girls on the way. They'll be out of here soon. So now we got to figure out how to talk to each other. We got to figure out if we got anything else in common with each other than our children who will be out of the house, leaving just the 2 of us here. This is what she is telling the life coach. Okay. Anyway, after that, Marceau comes into the door. And when he comes in, you said exactly what she meant. Thank you. Listen, people don't understand this, but I'm really good at deciphering shit. I know how to do it very well. I'm always the person in the friend group who tells people what's going on. But yes, that's the reason why I watch the show, okay? But she says this in so many words. She makes it cute, but she says in so many words, my kids are gone. So she's thinking about it too. My kids will be gone. I don't know if I can stay with this motherfucker. We don't know if we got anything more in common. We barely had enough in common then. We were learning each other in the marriage shit. We just happened to make it to 19, to year 19 right now, right? Huge admission, okay? But Marceau comes walking in the house. And when he comes in, he's looking like, well, what the fuck's going on? I got these 2 people sitting in my house, these 2 strangers. And he just stares at Tisha for a little bit like, what did you got planned for today? Tisha ends up saying, hey, Marceau, this is Ida or whatever her name is. And Marceau comes around the couch to shake Ida's hand, but he knocks something down. When he turns around to pick it up, he sees that it's some sort of like whip with like fur on it and shit, right? So he's like, Tisha, what is this? What we got going on, right? And Tisha explains to him she's here to help us talk to each other better. To which Marceau gives her a look like, Tisha. And he's like, you know, he slumps his shoulders down, but he said, fuck it, 2 tears in a bucket, I'm here. And he basically says, am I dressed appropriately? Should I change clothes? And they're like, no, you can keep on what you got on. Marceau said, I'll be right back, child. Let me go take a little hoe bath real quick. I'm going to take a little hoe bath and I'm going to clean up real fast. And he does. He goes up, child. Looks like he shaved. He came back down with his head like completely bald. He's wearing a black t-shirt. And when you see this black t-shirt, you know that Marceau has been working out, okay? He's getting prepared for the next phase of life. He done lost the titties, the hips, and the thighs. He didn't have no love handles or fucking nothing. I was like, oh, what's happening? First, we got Tisha over here, all bloop, bloop, bloop. Now we got Marceau. He said it'll be the last time y'all call me breasts, hips, and thighs, or hips, breasts, and thighs, whatever the hell they was calling them. That shit's gone. Okay. So he might have went to the chop shop too with Tisha. I don't know. I just know he didn't have it. And he made sure that he put on some clingy ass clothes. And he felt so he was so high on himself that he walked back down into the room with no shoes and no socks on. Okay. He didn't even put no fitties on. Okay. Anyway, just things I noticed. So he comes back and he sits down, and in confessional, he said, I would have loved for Tisha to have talk to me first and let me know that this was something she wanted to do. So maybe we could decide on it together, but we're here now. So he said, it might give us a shot. If it's going to help, I'll do it. If it's going to help, I'll do it, is what he says. Again, both of them are speaking in a very polite way. We might not make it to the finish line, right? Anyway, after that, what happens? After that little moment, Marceau sits on the couch and he's rolling his eyes. He's trying very hard to be a part of the moment. But Tisha says to him, I need for me and Marceau to talk. Hold on, child. Let me get this up here. Tisha, cut the shit. Anyway, he says, I need. Yes, he lost the breast too. I'm not making it up. Y'all can go watch it. No titties, no hips, no love handles. He's slim. I don't know if he's slim because he stopped drinking. He did say that he cut back on drinking. I don't know if he's slim because of the stress or what's going to happen next. I don't know. But his body it's transformed. It does not look the way it used to. Okay? Anyway, so Tisha says, Tisha basically says, me and Marceau need to know how to talk to each other. We need to know how to touch each other, hug each other, kiss each other without it going into sex, right? That's why Tisha gets this brick. Because, bitch, you've been married for 20 years. You are not going to convince me the way Marceau talks to you that Marceau is coming in the house and you make yourself ready and available every time he wants it. That's not true. That's not true. And we're going to find out in this very scene that you lied about it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you said it, Marceau tilts his head. He goes, Tisha. And he actually says out loud, are we telling the truth here, or are we putting something on for the people, for the cameras? Because usually we will lie off our ass. So is this a real scene or not? He says that in the scene. And Tisha said, yeah, go ahead, tell the truth. He said, we don't have that type of relationship. If we're telling the truth, Tisha, you don't touch me. You don't hug me. You don't kiss me. Not impromptu anyway. It's not spontaneous. I have to ask you, can I get a hug? And sometimes I have to say to you, can I get a hug? No strings attached, bitch. I need to be felt. I need to be touched. That's my love language, being touched. Tisha does this. In confessional, Tisha says, I've been with this man for 19 fucking years and I did not know that about him. Marceau said, just because I'm a man doesn't mean that I always need to go to the finish line, okay? However, I'm not going to turn down nothing but my collar, but you and I don't have that kind of relationship. I am the touchy-feely one. I'm the one who needs those things. I'm the one who have to tell you, I just want to cuddle for a few minutes and then send you on your way. I also want to point out how different Marceau and his brother Maurice are. They lived in the same house, except one of them lived in the shack that JoJo Dancer lived in, okay? Richard Pryor with the whorehouse. One of them lived there. I'm guessing it was Maurice. Anyway, bottom line is, he says that to Tisha, which is kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking. And Tisha does look like a little lost in the sauce because she clearly was lying before it got there, right? So Marceau was like, we're going to back this entire bus the fuck up. I don't ever ask you for that. We don't even have that type of life, really. I have to do X, Y, and Z. Tisha says, I did not grow up in a touchy-feely household. Hugging and, kiss and stuff like that. That wasn't for me. We just didn't do that. So in her mind, after 19 years of marriage, she believes that when she kiss or hug or touch The next logical step is sex. That's what she said. Hand on across my heart. So I do believe that this was all real. I don't think that this was fake. I don't think that you would know how to, I don't think you would have said this unless it was real. So I'm going to give her kudos, and him too, for even saying this part, because if they feel that way, there might be some other people that feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I thought that that shit was crazy. I don't think that Tisha would do well over there with Maurice. Absolutely not. I don't know who would do well with Maurice. I think if Maurice was raised in the Playboy mansion, I think that the women would be like, let us out. Let me out. I gotta go. Oh my God. Okay. He would hold them hostage the way Maurice talks. Anyway, after they get all that out, the love and intimacy coach tells Tisha that she wants them to do some exercises. And she said, we're just going to get into touching. I want you to straddle your husband and just touch him under the eyes and touch his forehead, and just to just connect to each other through touching. And that's it, basically. And I guess it's really working for them. Okay. I think it's really working for them. Tisha and Marceau both seem to be really into it, and I'm not even making it up. They're smooching in the scene with the life coach. They're smooching inside the confessional. He looks at Tisha and says, I love you. Tisha says it back to them. And the only reason why I'm saying it for me, it did feel real, because I saw them in that Christmas special when neither one of them got the answers right. Okay. I was like, do y'all hoes know each other at all? But in this scene, they felt more connected than I think I've ever seen them on screen. They were very connected. And Tisha's sitting there, they're doing the exercises. Okay. After it's all done, the life coach leaves, and Tisha's sitting there, and she tells Marceau, let me make sure I get this right. Hold on, child. I done got ahead of my notes, so I apologize. Here we go. So while they're sitting on each other, the life coach is gone. Tisha says to Marceau, I'm going to admit to you that I let people get in my head when it comes to us. I let the internet get in my head. I let our, castmates get in our head, or the group get in our head. And I know that that affects our relationship. So Marceau says to her, hold on, before that, she actually says, I even question whether or not, Marceau, you love me. I doubt it. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all, this was an actual good episode. We were watching people that we thought were in love with each other, and they just lost their way, Melody and Martell. And Melody says she had threw a knife at that man's head and missed. Missed. It went to the fireplace wall. And then she told a story about how Martell had pulled out a pow pow on Christmas Day, and I guess threatened some Romeo and Juliet shit. That shit never came to the show. But everybody was pounding the pavement talking about what a good couple they were. We don't know what's happening in people's houses or lives. We have to let people be who they are, and stop giving so much to actual storylines that wasn't true, because that wasn't true. When two people are doing that kind of harm to each other off screen, and then everybody else is the problem, nobody else was the problem. That was their relationship for all 11 years or whatever of their marriage. So this is I actually am more into, because we saw this part lead up here. But Tisha's telling him this actually affected me. I know it. Marceau says to her, Tisha, do I defend me? Do I defend me against the bullshit that is said about me, basically? Tisha says no. Marceau says, why? And Tisha said, because you don't care. And basically, you don't care about what they say, and you don't care about me because it affects me too. So she's saying because you don't care. And he says, no, that's not why, Tisha. And he says, Tisha, I need you to understand, that what happens here is us. This is our relationship. And your problem is, even though you know the real me, you know who I am. You know what I do inside this house. You know who I am to you and our children. You come back to me and you will start saying shit to me where you sound like you are the comment section. You sound like you're the comment section. I can't get a fucking break. And he's basically saying, if you are letting this shit in your head, then what do you want me to do? I don't know how to help you out with that, right? Anyway, part of it is, Marcel, just because we have been watching the show all the way up until this point, you have actually said plenty of times that you are an asshole and you are a dick. Those were your words. You said that less than a month ago on Will the Barber's YouTube page. He actually said it too. He said, I know Marceau. Marceau's a dick. Tiffany's husband said it. Big Lou, Stormy husband said it. Courtney, people who don't know you from Adam say it. So there's a lot of people who know you to be a dick and an asshole. And you're in this moment, you're kind of gaslighting Tisha again by saying you got to just accept what happens in our house and not take it outside. The problem is Tisha feels like you don't keep what happens in your house in the house, that you take it outside by embarrassing her, by making her look stupid, by not protecting her when she needs to be protected. That's you. Where's my... Give it the brick back up here for Marceau. Marceau, that's you. You do that. I don't know. Anyway, however he was getting himself to this conversation, I was like, well, she didn't get here by herself, sir. She didn't get here by herself. She's begged you. We've seen her on TV say, Marceau, could you have not left that for me later at the house? Why are you doing it in front of our friends? Why are you doing it on camera in a way that embarrasses me and harms me and has people calling me out my name in the comment section? That has happened. We've seen it, Marceau. But anyway, after he says all of that, he says, listen, I am not going to let anybody think, even though this is the narrative, that I'm controlling, non-supportive, overbearing, and a narcissist. He said that's the shit that people say outside, Tisha. But I don't want that to be our inside reality. I don't feel like that should be our inside reality. Then he kind of changes it up. And I'm happy that he did, because I was literally like, this scene is going to piss me off if Marceau don't take more responsibility. But he ends up saying, you know what? I could do better. I need to speak to you softer. I need to be more respectful by how I handle you. I know I should do these things. I could and I will. Okay. This is how I'm going to move forward. And we can see, because it doesn't take much for you, child. You do struggle to keep your mouth shut with certain things. But I will say, at the beginning of this second half of the season, or whenever you had that, Tisha had that blowout with Chris Fletcher, I could see you processing before you said something smart to Tisha and embarrassed her. I will say that. But he actually takes a little more on to himself and said, I could speak to you softer. And I will. I could say things differently. And I will. Well, let's see it, sir. Let's see it. Because I had people take the poll. We're going to get them results in just a minute. Okay? Because often you try to humble Tisha. In the same way, Nell Fletcher said she better humble herself. I'm going to humble her little ass. You humble her all the time. And being in a romantic relationship or a partnership with anybody who tries to humble you, it's bad for your soul. It's bad for your soul, period. Okay? But he says that to her. He says he's going to be softer, and he's going to watch how he handles her, and he's not going to let the outside noise take over what they got going on. Okay? Anyway, Tisha says something to Marceau like, moving forward, I'm not going to say anything about the comment section or the other people talking. And he said, Tisha, you're not getting my point. I don't give two fucks about the comment section or anybody outside of us. What I'm asking you is, to put more investment into me and us, our relationship. I don't even want you to make the outside anything that we have going on. Only the inside matters from this point forward, which was actually a nice thing to say, but executing it would be even better. So he said, if you get into it with Destiny and whoever the fuck ever, cool. Destiny, Nell Fletcher, just don't come back in here saying blah, 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 like I've done some shit that I didn't do. Because according to him, he's at work. And then when he's finished with work, he comes home. Now, I don't know what he was doing before, but now he's saying, that's all I do, Tisha. I don't want you to be thinking that I'm doing anything other than that. Okay. And we shall see. Anyway, she does still love Marcel because she wouldn't be going through the hoops that she goes through, especially being that she just got into it with Nell Fletcher. We know that Tisha still has some feelings for Marcel, but they're trying. And I like the fact that they, even if it wasn't, nasty, ugly, it didn't have to be, but they are both being honest enough to say, we might not make it to the finish line. We might not make it to the finish line. So we have to figure it out. So we'll see. Maybe he's done with anything he had been doing inappropriate. Maybe. That's the only thing I can take from it. I said, was there things happening before? I think most everybody believes it. Most everybody believes it. Were you doing things with Martell? Yes, according to Martell, he was the ringleader. You were fat. You were ugly. What else did he say about Marcel? He said, when I slid out, you slid in. That was the only way it could happen. Nasty. Anyway, last scene. Let me get my brick up, child. It's not the first time that the other couples have been in therapy talking about the same thing, the same storyline. This was a little different than before. They've been in therapy before, but I mean, it's no different than any other show that continues in therapy and stuff like that. What we heard from Tisha and Marceau was really different. I don't think that usually Tisha is saying everything's good, we don't have any problems. This time she's admitting that they could be done so, but she's going to try. He's saying he's going to try too. So I think that that's a little different. It's definitely not the conversation she had with Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis was so done. The reason why Dr. Francis is as popular as he is right now is because of Tisha. The scene he had with Tisha probably increased his practice by 100%. You know what I'm saying? If he had 50 clients, he got another, 50 clients, maybe more. He probably had to turn people down. You know what I'm saying? Because that scene with Tisha was that tough. But yeah, we're not seeing their therapy sessions. I think they should keep us out of it, personally. If they're serious about trying to figure it out, don't bring us into it. Don't put that on TV. It won't work, especially where you are now in your relationship. It's too fragile. Okay, let's get to Kimberly and Maurice. Kimberly and Maurice are at home and they are getting ready to see a couples therapy. They have two counselors, that's coming in, and they're a married couple. And I forgot their names, but both Tisha Marceau and Kimmy and Maurice are both using Black therapists, which high five for that. I think that's amazing to be Black, have therapy, and then also show Black therapists on the show. People ask for shit like this, so I'm pointing it out just in case y'all don't see it. But they have these Black therapists come in, a couple. And Kimmy said, this is our third therapy session. We did 2 over Zoom, but this particular counseling group are very big on coming into the home, seeing your environment, seeing how you're, they want to catch the vibe of how you and your spouse are so that they can really get down to the nit and grit of things. Okay. Anyway, after that, Maurice comes downstairs. I hope they're not going to sell a perfume to us or some sort of cologne, because Kimmy starts telling him that he smells good, and he talks about mixing two colognes together. And I was like, child, no, we're not buying it. Okay. That's number one. But he took too long on that damn conversation. Then finally, the therapists come in and they have a sit down, and they give Kimmy a sheet of paper. They tell Kimmy and Maurice that here's a sheet of paper, and one person has needs. Y'all both have needs, basically. Excuse me. But we need to see whose needs is bigger than whose, right? So Kimmy, you pull the paper to your side for your needs, and we need Maurice to pull the paper to his side for his needs. And who's ever left holding the paper, this is how we're going to see if we can fix whatever the issue is, right? This is, don't ask me, but that's how it plays out. I think that's how they meant it. Anyway, he had the therapist, it's a man and a woman. The therapist says, do you remember what your issues were? And Kimmy says, let me think. Was it, I need more time? Kimmy, you know what your damn issue. Where's Kimmy's Brit, child? Let me get this up here. Stop pretending like you don't know what the fuck your issues are, Kimmy. You know your issues are you want quality time, and you want this man to stop nagging you about doing the do, right? So Kimmy's like, well, I think it's more time, and what else? And what else? And Marie says, well, I don't really have any problems other than I want more sex, right? Anyway, sorry, I'm making faces. And I'm making faces because Maurice is gross. He's nasty, okay? But Marie says, I think we can solve this issue if I take 1 or 2 days off a week from all of our jobs, because you're busy and I'm busy. We're both really busy people. But if I take 2 days off a week so that I can get the bouncing in, then that would be in exchange for quality time. I get to bounce all day, and then you get your quality time with me. Where is the Maurice? I'm going to put this picture up here for now, because this is the actual therapist. This was her face. This is a therapist. This is somebody who hears everybody's problems. That's her job. For years, she's listened to people tell her nasty shit. And she made this face in front of you. And you should have said, I'm sick. I'm sick. I got the bubble guts, child. I'm so sorry, but this is where this session is going to end. You let somebody whose job is to listen to problems make a face at you like you were the most disgusting person on earth. And I'm not going to lie, I was making the same face at home like, bitch, you got to be a nut. Maurice is 45 years old. He has children, sons. Apparently he has daughters too. I heard him say that, they didn't want to be on TV or whatever the case may be. But he said that having the XEX and quality time are the same. I get to do what I want to do, and she gets to be in my company while I sweat on top of her. That is so fucking disgusting and so dumb. I don't know what to say. I would never. And Kimmy swallows and she just kind of sits there with this dumb look on her face while both therapists, not just the woman, okay, the man too, which I'm assuming is her husband, but he kept his hand over his mouth like this with his finger, because he was like, this motherfucker here. And I saw it. I saw the way he was looking at him like, what are you saying? Okay, anyway, after he said that would be a way to get the quality time in, Kimmy said, no, sir. That's not how that shit works. She said, not to mention the fact I get nothing out of that, Maurice. This has to be a conversation she's had with them a million times. But she says, Maurice, in order for me to get to a place where I can even enjoy being with you physically, I need to have the quality time. I need for us to have one-on-one. You got to pour into me, my mind, my spirit, my everything. You should know better than this, sir, but this is not how we do it. And I'm not going to do this. I don't enjoy it. She says it point blank. I don't enjoy it. What do you think I am? No. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, one of the therapists says, Maurice, how does it feel to hear? Well, hold on. Let me say this too. One of the therapists, the female therapist, says to him, Maurice, how did she say it? Let me make sure I say it right. She says something along the lines of, when Kimmy says that she needs more from you, when she needs more from you in regards to, hold on, y'all. So sorry. Okay, sorry, back. So the female therapist says, Maurice, what is going on in your world where you think that a woman can just lay down for you and whenever and not actually have any type of quality time or intimacy? And he says to her, this is when she makes the face, but shit, her face looked like this the whole time. He says to her, I was told growing up that women can lay on their back way longer than a man can stand up. That's what he said. A woman can lay on her back for way longer than a man can stand up. And I'm assuming pump is how he was saying it. And she goes, this is what the therapist said. Really? Who told you that? Told you that? Good Lord. And she's saying all that shit and making faces, and her husband is laughing because he too is like, Jesus Christ. But her pen starts writing and she's looking and writing, and Kimmy gets embarrassed, and she knows she's embarrassed. There's no other way to explain it. Kimmy is embarrassed as hell because she knows that she has these professionals in her home, and she was trying to make it a very good setting. And she's looking at Maurice like, Jesus Christ, you just fucking did it. There's never an occasion where Maurice isn't going to embarrass the shit out of Kimmy about his addiction, because that's what it is. He has an addiction, period. But he goes through all that. And then Kimmy goes, wait a minute. Why would you say that? Why would you say? Anyway, what are y'all saying? I bet that Kimmy told that dumb mess and laughed it off. You ain't even there, child. You ain't even there. After he says that, Kimmy does look like she wants to die in her seat. You can tell when people's eyes kind of glass over, like, ooh, take me away. You know what I'm saying? Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. They want to go up into the space. She gives a look like she wants to be beamed up out of space, right? And now they've put their whole focus on Maurice. And the guy has his hand in front of his face and he's doing this, and he goes, so Maurice, is there a way, do you think that you can do what Kimmy wants to do? Because Kimmy got the whole paper. Do what Kimmy wants to do and give her a little more quality time, because quality time would translate to physical time if that's what you wanted to do, right? Because Kimmy said, bitch, not only do you want it 3 times a day at home, but on vacation, I'm supposed to be just a machine, just not even a machine, a damn blow up dial, just laying there. I gotta get up. I gotta do shit, right? And he said, well, when we go on vacation, you don't want to do it then? She said, no, there's a cutoff. There's too much. There's a time where there needs to be too much. Well, the male therapist says, do you think that you could give her the intimacy that she's asking for? Whew. And Marie says, no, that's not going to happen. No, that's not going to happen, is what Marie says to that lady and the man. And they are both still looking at him like he's disgusting. Kimmy decided to join in, and I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think Kimmy might have had some secret code, like I'm gonna tap you, or she pinched him or something to say we got to kill this. You know what I'm saying? Because Maurice was literally going there in the worst way. And earlier, when they had that meeting, Maurice said, I want to talk to people who can really help me because everybody has problems. So I don't really think I need therapy. Well, when he says that shit, Kimmy screams out, oh my God. Oh my God. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? You don't leave room for positivity. You don't leave room for us to fix it. And the male therapist, he says to Kimmy, calm down. Like, wait. He actually stops her. He said, let him say what he's gonna say, because that's how he feels. And most importantly, because they're therapists and they know what the fuck this is, don't act like you haven't heard this before, Kimmy. You've heard it before, which is why we're sitting here. We're the ones who've never heard this shit before. We're the ones who've never heard it before, but you have. So let this man get out all of this repulsive, disrespectful bullshit about you. And you're going to have to make a decision whether you're okay or whether you're not okay, because that's really what it boils down to. Okay? Because we had this conversation, I think, with Dr. Francis, and Dr. Francis, he was so stumped that he just sat there with a smile on his face like this. He didn't even say shit. He didn't know what to say. He was so crazed. And that was before the cancer diagnosis. These people actually know you had a cancer diagnosis. Triple negative breast cancer could have lost your life. Your mama had the same cancer and she was able to make it through. All of this is in his memory banks. He knows who the fuck is, he knows everything. And he's still as dirty and as indignant as possible. He's gross. So he says all this. Kimmy tries to stop him. Like I said, the male counselor says, no, let him say it, child. Let him say it. You know who he is. You know this is the shit he says to you. So we're here. So let him say it. Okay? And he basically says, that's just how I feel. I'm not giving up sex. This is what he says in rebuttal. This is a gaslight moment for sure. They didn't ask you to give up sex, sir. What they asked you to do is figure out a way to compromise so this woman can get what she wants and also be available and ready to you. He says, I'm not giving up sex. Well, what type of sex aren't you giving up? The microwave kind? What? I mean, what are you saying here? Anyway, when he says that, the female counselor says, we didn't imply that. We didn't say it, and we didn't imply it. Accountability. I said, you better tell him that, bitch, I know what you're doing. You better say it. And then she says, I think the one of the counselors says to him, so Maurice, you're an addict. This is an addict tendency to need to have this type of indulgence multiple times a day and not have any respect for what's going on with your wife. This isn't normal. Boom. Okay. So after he says that, then they say to him, what happened in your childhood? What were you deprived of that makes you think that this is what you need to do all day, every day to self-soothe, is what they say to him. This is how you self-soothe, which is interesting. And I was like, yes, when they said that, because listen, it was hard for me to listen to this shit twice. I ain't gonna lie. But when he said that, I was like, thank God, because I've not heard people with these kind of problems before. Not that they don't exist, but in my head, I'm thinking, Maurice, what is going on? So he explains to him that when there were so many people in the house, he wasn't able to eat when he wanted to. His father would put locks on the refrigerator door. Everything had to be shared. And so he resented a lot of it. And I guess he found a way to be okay when he would pleasure himself. And then pleasuring himself went to having relationships with others. And that's how he just started moving forward in life, thinking that that was okay. Even though he is old the hell enough to know that it's not, and he should have sought some sort of help for himself. He shouldn't be putting it on anybody else. Yes, it sounds like he left one addiction to go to the other, because that's how they explained it. He, I guess, he was starving. The kids didn't have enough to eat. He said he resented his father for bringing all those kids into the world and they couldn't eat. It also embarrassed him that his friends would come over and see locks on the refrigerator and things like that. Now, he said as he got older, he learned to forgive his father, but he blames everybody else for not giving into his indulgence. And so he's saying this to the counselors and everybody, right? And so the counselor says to Kimmy, what would you have done if you knew Maurice as a kid? She said, I would have fed him. I would have told him he was deserving. I would have told him I loved him. All these things, right? Which still for me, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the right thing to do. But for me, I'm grossed the fuck out. I want out. I want out of this relationship. So after they get all that out, Kimmy says to Maurice something similar to what Tisha said. She says, I'm tired of defending your bullshit in this marriage. I'm tired of making the horrible, gross, disgusting, nasty, disrespectful motherfucking things you do okay, so that we can live to see another day. I deserve more. I deserve to be loved the way I want to be loved, okay? Now, I don't know if she was saying she's quitting this marriage, but she did basically say, I know that you are dogging the fuck out of me. I know that my being here makes you look amazing, but it makes me look like a damn fool, okay? Because you got the upper in this situation. I am still digging for the scraps, and I'm tired of it, Maurice. I don't have anything left to give. And I'm not having sex with you 2 to 3 times a day. It's just not going to happen. It's too much. Now, again, she said it in a polite way, but she did get it out. We're not doing this every day. And his response to it, his response, like I said, she just prays for her to let it go. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. His response to it was, you know that I lack emotional intelligence. And the second he said that, and he may, I don't know, but a man who is an addict and lacks emotional intelligence cannot like or respect you. He doesn't like you. Period. That there's no way he can. He can't. And if he can't like or respect you, he doesn't love you either. He sees you like he sees the rest of his toys. You are there to satisfy him. And if you can't, he has no need for you. And he said as much in this scene, because him thinking that them asking him, can you please bend and fold just a little bit for Kimmy, meant you had to not have sex at all, is absolutely stupid. You know that's not what those people said, not in the slightest bit. But you would have rather embarrassed the hell out of her yet again than to just openly admit that you got a problem. So the doctor said it for you. You have a problem, Maurice. And your problem is you think that everything is a refrigerator. You want to unlock everything, and Kimmy's a big old refrigerator that you're just supposed to dive into whenever you fucking want to. And she's supposed to put everything down in her life to give it to you. And that's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, he makes that comment and he says that he is sorry to her. He is sorry to her, and that he does love her, and that she should never have to feel that way, which is nice to say, but you're going to have to show and prove, period. You're going to have to show and prove. He said that he knows this, and that this is his goal, because she should know that he's the type of person that could get it done. Okay. Yeah, he gaslighted the fuck out of her, because I would have called my divorce attorney right after that. Okay. What's up, Marcella? Nice to have you in the chat, girl. So yeah, that was it. That was how it played out. And we will see what happens next week, because what we've seen Maurice do time and time again is say things just to get people off his ass, and then in the next breath basically lay the foundation that says this is how we are going to play it again. And that's exactly what he did to you in the scene when he said I lack emotional intelligence. That means he's putting this excuse out there so that he can keep doing the same dumb shit that he's been doing. He's a lawyer, he's a father, he did all this shit to get his son down to Alabama so that he didn't have to do any of the work to take care of him, so that you could do all the heavy lifting, and then he could take credit on the back end. And then when you told him that's not right, then he wants to throw you out of his shit. But he knows exactly what he's doing. He cuts you off to keep you from getting his ass together and getting him on the straight and narrow. And he doesn't want to be on the straight. He don't. He likes his addiction. And he's going to keep doing it until his dick don't work no more, because that's how people like him think, and that's what they're going to do. I would be out. An addiction and you lack emotional intelligence, what's in it for me? Girl, you better pack your shit. And I don't even tell people to leave their marriage. That's your shit. I didn't put you together. It's not up to me to take you apart. But Kimmy, if you don't find yourself a new cub, a new panther, okay, you're too old for this, and you've been all the way to the other side. Damn near didn't make it back. He ain't supposed to be here. And God keep telling you, you done got the whisper, you done got the knock on the head. What else do you want? The Mack truck? Because that's the only thing left. Yuck. And once you get the Mack truck, you've done. That's God saying it's time for you to come home. We got to start with a whole new Kimmy. Okay? We got to reincarnate you, because you wouldn't listen to me. You didn't love the life I gave you. You didn't understand it. Anyway, that's the show, y'all. They had their moments, but right now, I'm going to say that Tisha and Marceau, I actually believe them a little more than I believe Kimmy and Maurice. Especially since we're going to get a scene coming up, I guess next week, where they're going to rehash this shit all over again, and he's going to do exactly what I said, walk all that shit back. I think that Kimmy is 55 and Maurice is 48. So I think there's 7 years between them. And he talked her to stay on the show. Y'all, I don't know. I mean, there are women like this, and I get it. And maybe it's helping somebody, because I don't want to, people got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But Kimmy, you got to figure it out, boo. That man don't like you. When men don't like you, they do exactly what Maurice is doing. They want you to pull the trigger. They want you to pull the hammer. You're doing everything to stay, and he's doing everything to get you to fuck up out of there, in my opinion. Okay? And you know what an abusive relationship look like. He might not be putting his hands on you, but he's attacking you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He's beating your ass the same way he would physically. So go on ahead and pack it up. Okay? Kimmy got a high resume. She can start over anywhere. And she can get her 50%. She can get her half for sure. Kimberly was supposed to leave when she saw her son wasn't being treated right. Her son was in that relationship for about 7 years. And he ended up going to college. But I think her son loves her. And people make mistakes with relationships when they have husbands and everything else. So I'm not going to put too much on it, because her son, I like the way her son handled himself with Maurice. But I do think that Kimmy, out of all the people, I won't say all the people, but in this current situation, Kimmy does look the worst. You look the worst because we all know that you deserve better too. We know you deserve better when we watch the show. And it's kind of like, oh my God, go. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't see anything redeeming about Maurice. Nothing. You the crazy part is you raised a man child, you raised a son, and you would flip the fuck out if Jalen was anything the way Maurice is, because you know what type of man you wanted Jalen to be, and you're fairly proud of him. And hell, even Maurice comes in talking about, why can't Monster be more like Jalen? Because he can't. Because he can't, because of you. You should have left him with Kiowa. And if I was Kiowa, if this shit was going on when Kiowa was married to him, Kiowa should have moved her ass and her husband on down to Alabama from the good old state of Michigan, just like she was asked to do. Don't leave your baby there. I mean, he's a grown man now, but there was a lot going on with Maurice. He got too much. Let's see. But yes, that is it, y'all. Y'all stayed on here for almost 2 hours with me, and I cannot be more appreciative, okay? I appreciate every single one of y'all for starting my first video off right for the new year, because this is the first time I've come on since we hit the new year, okay? But anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all like my new camera. Do y'all like my new camera, child? Did anyone even notice I got a new camera? Can you see me better? Because I need to take it right on back. If you don't like it, I need to take it right on back to the stove, child, before I miss the 30-day deadline. Make sure you watch the replay for sure. Absolutely. Okay. All right. That's it. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all come back for the next video. This was a great live. I loved it. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me get the screen up here. Anyways, you guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you to my moderators, Miss Clone in the house, my sister, and also Deidre. I saw my other sisters in here, okay? Dyrese and Gloria, Erica, all of y'all. Y'all know every single solitary one of y'all is my damn cousins, okay? Let me get my cousin sign up here. I love my cousins. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. And if you're not following me or if you're not a subscriber, become one, okay? Until the next time, bye-bye.